What's going on, guys? Agent Jim Shorts coming at you with another video for yins today. The apocalypse is now. Yep, the coronavirus has struck us all and the world is starting to shut down. Being the hero that I am, I've decided to try to find a way to help you all through this crisis. Thus, I've devised a way to make it through these dark times. And that way is 5 Netflix shows that you've probably missed. In these times of social isolation, there's nothing quite like a Netflix and chill sesh to get you through the upcoming weeks. You may have seen or heard of a few of these shows, but there'll definitely be some new ones here for you, and maybe this list will be the catalyst to finally make you check out that one show that's been on your radar. So, once you're done making a Corona baby, maybe sit down with your significant other, or all by your lonesome self and check out some of these shows. Or maybe use some of these shows to Netflix and chill your way into making your Corona baby. But anyway, let's get to the list. Thanks to Walter White, you've probably already seen what would happen if a chemistry teacher decided to break bad and become a kingpin. But have you ever wondered what would happen if a soccer mom decided to become the queen of drugs? Well, if you have, or you're just bored and a fan of Breaking Bad, I'd suggest giving the show Good Girls a try. It's an NBC drama focusing on several mothers who are falling on hard times for one reason or another. One is a single mom, another is married to a security guard and is struggling to keep their family afloat, and the last one is your prototypical soccer mom who's staying at home and living the dream. At least until she finds out her husband is sleeping around and blowing all their money away. Circumstances put them in a situation where they can make quick cash after being forced to help a ring of drug dealers. After learning that these avenues are an option for them, the temptation to fall deeper into this life of crime becomes more and more appealing. If you like a crime-ridden thrill ride, or are just trying to fill that Breaking Bad-sized hole in your life, Good Girls should be right up your alley. Do you love adult animation? Do you love The Simpsons? Well, do I have a show for you, Disenchantment. I'm not actually a huge fan of The Simpsons, so I was pretty disinterested when I heard the show's creator was coming out with a new animated show for Netflix. That being said, once I saw the trailer by accident, I was hooked. The show is so funny and really clever. I find myself seeing The Simpsons as just filler that exists just for the sake of existing, while I find Disenchanted is an engaging story that carries over from one episode to the next, while maintaining that raunchy humor that South Park and Simpsons fans know and love. The story is about a very unbecoming princess who would rather get in bar fights than wear dresses and rule a kingdom. She goes on a vast amount of fantasy adventures with her 2 companions, Elfo the elf and Lucy the demon. The show uses these 2 supporting characters brilliantly, and frankly, these guys steal the show. Elfo is ever the optimist and is the goody 2-shoes of the bunch, while Lucy is a demon who's trying to convince Princess Bean to party, do drugs, and misbehave whenever possible. This sets up the classic angel on one shoulder and devil on the other shoulder dynamic that really makes this show seem way more clever than it probably should. After blindly falling into season 1, I found as soon as season 2 came out, I binged it all in one single weekend. To my understanding, season 3 will be released in September of this year, but for now, you have 2 fabulous seasons to catch up on.
I'm so proud of you.
I'm drowning! I'm Elfo!
Have you ever wanted to be a gangster? Well, what if I told you there were gangsters in olden times with British accents? Probably not what you pictured when I said gangster, huh? Well, once you're done repenting for being a subconscious racist, you may want to check out Peaky Blinders. Now, I know, this is a popular show. It has a devoted cult following, and pretty much everyone who's seen it loves it. That being said, I think the show is pretty different, and it's kinda hard to sell someone on this show without any context. It's like when you try to explain John Wick 1 to your friend. It's like, yeah man, these Russians killed Keanu Reeves' dog, and now he goes out and kills all of them in revenge. Pretty awesome, bro. That seems pretty lame, but in action, it's a freaking awesome movie. Peaky Blinders is kind of the same thing. It follows a British gang of the same name in the year 1919. They are hard-nosed and not to be crossed. The gang is led by Thomas Shelby, and is involved in gambling and other rackets around Birmingham, England. This show is clever, thrilling, brutal, and terribly melancholy. Similarly to Breaking Bad or Good Girls, you'll find yourself rooting for the villain of this show, mainly the Peaky Blinders themselves. Thomas Shelby is the mastermind of their operation and is the protagonist of the show. He and his family claw their way out of poverty into greater power and wealth within the European world. If you're looking for a hardcore thrill ride that you won't be able to stop watching, do yourself a favor and turn on Peaky Blinders. $5 says after the virus stuff is all over, you're gonna head straight to Great Clips and ask for a Thomas Shelby haircut. For real, it's gonna happen. I've done it, and it's pretty awesome. But anyway, next show. Do you love That 70s Show? Do you love Ashton Kutcher? If you answered yes to any or all of those questions, you should check out The Ranch. It's a comedic drama that Netflix started putting out a few years back. It follows a family of ranchers who reside in Colorado. Ashton Kutcher plays a washed-up football player who is forced to come home to work on the family ranch after his professional career has dried up and died. His brother, played by Scientologist Danny Matterson, aka Hyde from That 70s Show, has been working on the ranch his entire life. Obviously, the choices by these two brothers have put them in direct conflict, and they really fleshed that out during the show. And yes, you heard me correctly, 70s Show fans. Kelso and Hyde have returned to another show and star in it together once again. It's clear that these two actors still have great chemistry, and it really does wonders for the show. Also, I would be remiss to not mention that their gruffy cowboy of a father is played by the great Sam Elliott. Sam's character is doing everything he can to keep the family ranch running and solvent even in these economically rough times. Several other great characters make their way onto this show, and it eventually builds a really well-developed world where these stories take place. If you grew up in a small town, I think you'll find yourself feeling some real nostalgia after sitting down to watch The Ranch on Netflix. There are currently 4 seasons out, so you have plenty of show to catch up on during our long period of isolation. And that brings us to our final show, number 1 on the list. And that show is The Umbrella Academy. Yo, this is a weird ass show. Like for real, this is wonderfully odd in the weirdest and best ways possible. It's gonna take you a second to give this show a chance if I'm being perfectly honest. But let me encourage you, please give it a chance. Not only is it wonderfully weird, it's also about an upcoming apocalypse. So it seems just like a perfect show to watch, all things considered. Is that joke too soon? Like, are we allowed to make Corona jokes actually? I don't know. But anyway, Umbrella Academy is based off a comic book written by none other than the great Gerard Way. Yes, you heard me correctly. This is written by none other than Gerard freaking Way. Yeah, the frontman and genius behind My Chemical Romance. Sidebar, can we just take a moment to freak out that these guys are back together again?
When I was a young boy, my father took me to the city and to see the Black Parade. Ah!
Anyhow, the show is about a bunch of superpowered kids who are mysteriously all born on the same day by different mothers. Their mothers were not pregnant at the beginning of the day they were born. Yes, you heard me right. They were not pregnant the morning of the day they gave birth to their kids. Yes, the show gives no explanation for this. It's just weird. That's just kind of how this show is. But anyway, some of these kids were eventually adopted by a professor of sorts who houses them in a special school named the Umbrella Academy. It's basically a knockoff X-Men mansion, but way worse. The kids were not always treated really well and all grow up with emotional scars. The main story of the show is set 20 plus years after they were all miraculously born and have long since abandoned the Umbrella Academy for one reason or another. The first episode sees the adopted siblings all getting together once they hear news that their adopted father has passed away suddenly. As much as they all hold resentment towards him, they all go to pay their respect. This is just the start of the weird, and the show really takes off from there. I won't say much else in an attempt to not ruin anything, but this is basically a time-traveling acid trip that has some crazy fun moments to watch. If you're looking for a twisted superhero vibe, or you want something out of left field, I highly recommend Umbrella Academy on Netflix. Well, that's our list. Thanks for watching, guys. But yeah, that's it. You got it. Go watch a new Netflix show and make a Corona baby. We need a new baby boom, and if you're single, order some DoorDash and binge a show. That's what all the couples are doing anyway, so don't feel left out. We're all in the same boat here. For real though, stay safe everyone. I know this is a crazy time, but don't panic. Just relax, this will all be over soon enough, and just take this time as an impromptu staycation to just binge some Netflix. Anyway, just relax, and above all else, remember, stay frosty, guys. Also, as always, please feel free to like and subscribe this video. It really means a lot, and it really helps me get the word out there about this channel, and I really appreciate all the help and support you guys give me. So thanks again, and stay frosty.